Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here today, my name is Audrey, and today we're going to be doing a video about Loki episode 3. So there will be spoilers for Loki episode 3, but I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I've been doing breakdowns for a while, and maybe those have been a little stale, so I'm going to see if maybe this style is a little bit better. Let me know what you think down below. So I'm going to do it kind of as we're going to talk about a specific topic that is in relation to episode 3, kind of the biggest thing that I feel like we're going to be talking about. And I mean, I feel like there's a pretty big revelation in this episode. So I will touch on that a little bit, but this particular video I wanted to talk all about our delightful MCU version of Lady Loki. So if you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe. If you like this video while you're watching, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out. And we're going to talk about MCU Lady Loki. So as kind of a overall MCU version of Lady Loki is referred to as Sylvie. She reveals that, it was revealed in the credits of last episode, in like the foreign country credits. But she says she prefers to be called Sylvie. It's an alias. Loki says, oh, so you changed your name. She says, well, it's an alias. So a little confusing, but I can kind of break it down based on what, Casey's eating, my cat Casey, so I hope you don't hear the loud munching, but that's what I'm hearing right now, so I hope to not be too distracted. But what I was saying is MCU Lady Loki, or Sylvie for us, is a combination of about 3 characters. So what I would see as pretty much what the biggest factor, other than I think Lady Loki is actually the smallest influence of the character as a whole. The biggest character influences of MCU Sylvie is going to be both Sylvie Lushton, Enchantress, and the Ico version of Loki. So the Ico version of Loki is a gender fluid Loki that just constantly transfers between being different forms. So they have a male form and a female form, and they're kind of just like a gender fluid version of Loki. That's the Loki you see with the broken horn, so that's very influential for that version of Loki. I think as well, it's like just in the visual appearance, minus the blonde hair, I think the Ico version of the character is pretty clearly the most prominent of the mesh of the characters. Other than that, the other big prominent mesh of the character would be Sylvie Lushton, aka Enchantress, mostly because she is blonde. Neither have short hair. They just decided she wouldn't have short hair for this, but she's a blonde. She's named Sylvie. She is an enchantress. So she states in this episode that she taught herself how to enchant people, which is pretty cool. We don't know too much about her based on this episode. We're still learning. I'm sure we will get kind of her backstory through the later 3 episodes. I got half of my coffee today. We're gonna keep learning about her. But from what we did learn from this episode is, yes, she is a version of Loki. So, the people are saying, this is absolutely not Lady Loki. You're not wrong, because it's not necessarily Lady Loki from the comics, although the MCU is never really that comic accurate, so I wouldn't be too shocked. I can give a little bit of the Lady Loki in the comics is basically after the events of Ragnarok. There's a reincarnated body that is intended for Lady Sif that then Loki soul possesses, and then it becomes Lady Loki. And I think, if you think Lady Loki, you Google Lady Loki, you get a pretty killer image of what Lady Loki looks like, and notice that this looks nothing like Lady Loki. But also, personality-wise, not too much like Lady Loki, more so like Enchantress and Eichel. So that is our version. So I think more accurately, you know, we could see other versions of Loki. We probably won't see Sylvie Lushton, just because that would be extremely confusing in this. But I think we still could probably see another version of Lady Loki that would be more comic accurate, because this is just not really Lady Loki. So what we do know about her, if you paid attention to all the leaks, is that she is Lofi Dottir, which means that she is the daughter of Laufey, like Loki is the son of Laufey. So that's still the same. They have that still same connection. So she was born a female character, so it's not something where, I know there were theories that maybe she was enchanting a female body, which that would be more similar to Lady Loki, but that is not the case here. She knew that she was adopted. She was told that she was adopted. We don't know if she was adopted by Odin and Frigga. Most likely not, because I feel like that would have come up a little bit more. We know that she was not trained in magic by Frigga like Loki was, as he reveals that in this episode, kind of his training, and a lot of the stuff is that mostly it seems that she has taught a lot of the magic to herself. So she might have had a mentor. It's possible that the other version of Enchantress might have taught her some of the stuff, but as she says, she taught herself how to enchant, so I'm not sure how likely that would be. And we also find out the fact that she is bisexual. So it is confirmed in this episode that Loki is bisexual. We already knew he was gender fluid. So the variant version of Loki that we are following is gender fluid, is bisexual. Sylvie, we don't know if Sylvie is also gender fluid because the variants are different, but we do know that Sylvie is bisexual. So that's pretty cool and great to have representation during Pride Month. I hope that it's not something that's left as an offhand comment and something that is pursued further along. You know, there were obviously hints of it, I think, in Thor Ragnarok with Loki, but I would like to not always have it be a hint and have it be something that we explore. You know, I know Disney feels a certain way about certain things, and big corporations feel a certain way about promoting the LGBT, but I would really like to see something like that. I think that would be really cool, especially for Marvel, since all we've gotten so far on screen is Gajo Russo, and still all he's doing is just talking. So, you know, if we could get something else, that would be nice. You know, there are lots of characters in the comics that are in the LGBT, and I hope they don't just gloss over it once they get into live action if they're not here already. But overall, that's pretty much just the breakdown of this specific character. We have a lot still to learn about her. This episode particularly was learning how Loki and Sylvie can work together, because they don't like each other, because they're constantly competing to be the ultimate version of Loki. Although she doesn't like to be called Loki anymore. But she was called Loki at some point, because that is hinted at that point. But I'm sure we will learn more. I personally want to know, this is kind of an inconsistency, again, that we had when Loki was killed by Thanos and he didn't turn blue. If magic doesn't work in the TVA, and they stated that Loki uses magic to project himself as not blue, why is Loki not blue in the TVA? And the same would fall to Sylvie, since she's also a daughter of Laufey. So that's an inconsistency. It's a plot hole within the MCU. I think they just don't want to make either of them blue, but I wouldn't mind it. I mean, make them blue. Who cares? I want to see more blue babes. Maybe people would think that they were Kree, and it would get too confusing. Not really. People don't really follow Kree that much, and there's multiple skin tones of different aliens, so I don't know. The other big thing revealed from this episode is that there was a theory going around, which was correct, so A+ to all of you. I didn't really think about it too much, but the TVA are all variants. Every single one of them. So that's pretty interesting. In the comics, this is not necessarily the case. Mobius was created by the Timekeepers, so we'll see kind of how that comes to pass. I figured that was probably the case when, at the beginning of the episode, Sylvie is with the other hunter character that she had possessed or enchanted to get the location of the Timekeepers through her mind, and then it was like big memory and all this stuff that was suppressed. So this is pretty interesting. Very hypocritical there, because they're saying that they would have to, you know, erase all these variants, yet they're all variants themselves. So I don't know. I'm still on the path that I'm not sure the Timekeepers are real. I really don't think that they're real. I think that they could be like the Kree Supreme Intelligence, where it's just this AI that's just running things and running things and running things and running things, like some man behind the mask. I am still hoping we're gonna see Kang, that possibly, if they are real, or if there's any of them, that Kang might be involved in this. I just don't know how they're gonna make, I don't think they're gonna make Kang a big bad of Loki, because, you know. But that being said, if every single person in the TVA are variants, that would indicate that the person on the top is also a variant. So it's possible that the person on top is another variant. And we know we're going to see other versions of Loki. So what if the variant at the very, very, very top is another version of Loki, and is the a version of King Loki? That would be pretty sick, because then he is ruling space. So then things would, you know, that version, things really did work out for him. And I think it'd be just quite interesting if the whole thing is like, you know, we always predicted that Loki was going to be the big bad of Loki. So why not have King Loki all the way on the top? He's in control. I don't think the Timekeepers are real. You know, they came up with these propaganda departments about all this stuff. I think having all of these characters who are relatively the same, which is funny because we have variants, but I'm saying all these characters that are relatively the same, like all powerful beings, like, you know, you have the Celestials, you have the Timekeepers, you know, they're like, at one point it comes too many of them, and then maybe people get confused, so maybe wrap them together, you know, like how they made Ego, the living planet, a Celestial, just to like simplify things. So I think maybe the man behind the mask is going to be King Loki. That would be pretty sick. Because they said it's going to take a big twist, so that's my big theory, that it's going to be King Loki at the top, the man behind the mask. Especially since we know everybody in the TVA is a variant. My other question is, has a variant version of, or has this variant version of Mobius, was he caught riding on a jet ski? Is that why he was taken by the TVA? That's my question. So that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about. So let me know if you like breaking it down into bigger topics from the episode, or if you like when I share kind of my complete breakdown of the episode and kind of summarize what happens and then do topics later. Let me know what you think. I think I like this method of video a little bit better. I think it goes a little bit more in depth to what's important rather than skimming over stuff, because I've noticed a lot of the time when I write notes, I'll focus on the notes and then just forget about critical thought. So let me know what you thought. And again, if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. I do 3 videos a week. Struggling to get the third video. I'll be honest, I was going to put a Monday video up this week, but it was so bad I had to delete it. So usually Wednesday and Saturday, sometimes I have videos on Monday. We do videos on Loki all the time. There will be another video about all of the DC and Marvel news that has come out recently. That should be going up on Monday. But I also do vlogs, beauty, other stuff. I have a Pride video coming out on Saturday, so I'd really appreciate it if you stuck around and subscribed. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!